What's up, guys? Mike the Cop. Thanks for checking out Off the Cuff podcast with myself and Dave. In this episode, we talk about our experiences with seeing and dealing with death and dead bodies. If that's going to make you nauseous, fair warning. But there are some golden stories to follow, so check it out.
You hear that? What? You hear that? Move. You hear that? What? You hear that? Move. You hear that? What? You hear that? Book. Oh yeah, it's your boy.
Yo, move, Dave.
I'm your Huckleberry.
I hope you make that one shot good, son.
Because it's the only one you're gonna get.
Where's the tumbleweed, producer? The tumbleweed needs to come through here.
What time is
we're
it
live.
now?
Are we live?
It's 12 o'clock high.
It's 12 o'clock, son.
12 o'clock high.
Yo, daddy, know you're here. What are we going to drink today? Is it Bullet or is it Angel's Envy?
Well, the bullet's already here.
Where did you put the Angel's Envy? I thought you said you brought it. How is it not here?
I mean, it's not within arm's reach. It's just right over there.
It's within my arm's reach.
Yeah, see? So that's up to you.
It's whatever you want.
Your move.
Yo, move, Mike. Well, okay. Before we get to that, I need to know: have you ever been kidnapped, Dave?
Well, there was a couple times in college. I don't normally talk about.
I'm not talking about the service you paid for to get that done. I'm talking about legitimate.
Oh.
And handcuffed, maybe.
There was
Also.
a time in Bangkok.
Crazy.
That was
times.
before my college years.
Bangkok in the 80s was it was nuts.
I barely remember. But we were there together.
Oh, boy. Did we ever grow up?
I'm glad the laws are different there than they are here.
Indeed. Wow. The stories we could tell.
That's for sure. Well, I mean, why would you ask such a crazy thing?
Well, because I happen to have handcuffs here.
What?
And this episode just so happens to be brought to us by this Ready Man product, which I have destroyed. I've pulled everything off the... I would not be good on TV advertising.
Wow. You're great, Mike.
Ready Man makes the hostage escape card.
Oh.
And they put it on MikeTheCop.tv for me.
Well, people should take a look at that, I think.
They should, because if you pull this little piece of metal off, and the handcuffs can't be double locked, therein is the problem. Because cops normally... So this isn't how to get out of cops arresting you, because we would double lock them.
Yes.
But most kidnappers, let's face it, they're not going to double lock the handcuffs.
No, they won't.
So if they don't, you just, slide this piece of metal in there, and boom.
What just happened?
Dave, you'd be free, is what I'm trying to say, when you get your handcuffs put on you.
Well, I have had that happen at least 6 times.
If you are taken hostage, then you better have the hostage escape card on you.
I agree.
Okay.
Wow. After seeing that...
Ready Man, I'll give you one, because Ready Man gave me some, and they're on MikeTheCop.tv. They are sponsoring this episode.
That's
today.
awesome. Now, can I wear the card anywhere I want on my body? Just
You can tape them anywhere.
What
very
if you
thin.
just have strong muscles and you're able
They're
to...
made of aluminum.
No, it's aluminium.
Oh, yeah.
Aluminum.
Get it right. Today's letter is A for aluminium.
Aluminium. So, okay, so great. That's actually a nice card. Very thin.
Yeah, you can fit it in your wallet, whatever.
Strong.
Put it in your pocket.
Strong metal.
Oh, wait, this is the best part.
What's that? Ooh, yeah.
Doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Not for single men. Wait, we're married.
Wait. I forgot.
Forgot again. Sorry, honey. All right. Which glass do you want today, Dave?
It doesn't matter. As long as you didn't clean them.
You don't wash whiskey glasses.
No, you don't. Perfect.
All right. So, man, we were just here yesterday
Yeah, we were.
recording
Which is great.
because we're trying to deliver the goods.
Yeah, we're trying. That's for sure. It's not easy. I actually worked overtime last night. Again.
Doggone you, man.
I know, man.
You got to take a break.
I'm killing it.
You're going to work yourself into oblivion. There's going to be nothing left of you.
I'll work your mom into oblivion.
I'll work your face into oblivion.
I'll work my whole life into
Your life is oblivion.
I saw the movie Oblivion.
We can't. Can we use the same jokes every episode? We did.
We better.
We have to.
We don't have a choice now.
That's right. Your comments are oblivion. YouTube. I want there to be a hater comment, right? And then everybody that actually likes our show to be like,
You just
your
pin
mom's
it?
your mom is whatever the comment would be like, you guys suck. Your mom sucks. Your life sucks. Your face sucks.
And there will
Just
be
just pile on,
something
guys.
tells me that when you pin it, there would be at least 60 different kinds of your mom, or
That,
different
right?
different.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Throw it back at him.
That would be fantastic.
I hope it happens. Here's to hoping.
It will happen
We'll make
because
it
there's
happen.
always a troll, right?
There's always
And they don't always
a
live
troll.
under bridges.
I do. I love the videos, and obviously, if you're listening on iTunes or SoundCloud or whatever, you'd have to go to MikeTheCop.tv to actually comment. Really, maybe SoundCloud has comments. I think you could post them there, but it's not real common.
I do not know.
But on the YouTubes, certainly is where I'll put up a 10-minute video. And 30 seconds goes by, like I hit submit, like publish, right?
There's always
And there's a dislike.
yeah,
Well, there's 10 likes.
and there's not even enough time to watch.
There's not enough time to have made it an actual determination if you like the content or me or
Right.
dislike it, really.
unless a
It-
person just always just hates you. They're
there.
Oh, and the only thing they do is exist to hate you. So they wake up in the morning. They get actual notifications that your videos.
They are
coming
part
out.
of the notification. They hit.
They are.
hit the bell on the YouTube, and they are notified.
Yep.
Oh, Mike the Cop just posted. Time to go throw some thumbs down, everybody.
I know they got their little notification on their Apple Watch or something. They're sleeping. They're taking a nap. It's like
They
ding,
probably
ding, ding.
developed an app that auto dislikes for them.
and then buys them time to actually come in and comment as well.
Exactly.
For sure. Oh, I could totally see
Yes.
that.
They have 4 default comments. You're racist. Cops are corrupt, boot-licking men of the state. You claim to know the constitutional rights, but you steal them every day from hardworking Americans. I don't know.
That's how it is.
It cycles through.
It's awesome. Just so you know, if you're a troll, we love it.
It's great. You really
It's
helped me out.
fantastic.
They don't. What's fantastic about it is that they're, it's not like YouTube pays thousands of dollars for an advertisement view or something like that. But there is income, right? There's
Right.
ad revenue off of a YouTube channel. Most people's channels don't get enough views that even it's negligible. But as we grow, that would be better and better income that would come.
What if people
that.
hated us so much that over 90% of them are bad reviews? Like, and that people just commenting
Yeah.
and just hate
Yet
us.
we make money off that.
Over 90%.
I love it. I always they get mad when I'm like, thank you for being my biggest fan. It's a huge help that you watch my videos. When you comment, please keep commenting. Invite your friends because that's more engagement. And YouTube's like, man, this is a great video. Let's just give it more room on the YouTube highway here.
And the guy's like typing away. He's like, oh, how can I hate this even more?
it's impossible. You've lost before you've started, young one.
No. We already have you. We already
have
have you. We're the government.
By the
We've already
time you're
got you.
commenting on my YouTube video, the web has been spun, and you're caught.
That's it.
All right,
On to the topic. Come on.
moving on to the topic.
Oh, gosh. Stickler. He's been like
Producer's
this all
always
day.
pushing us to actually talk about something
Yeah.
of substance.
And I forgot already what we were going to talk about.
We're going to talk about dead bodies, Dave.
Oh, that's right.
Gross.
What's the grocerist?
Who's got the grossest dead body story?
Well,
I feel like I've seen a lot of dead bodies. Let's be honest. I'm sure you've seen a lot of dead
I
bodies.
saw one once.
As cops, you pretty much we're going to every death, right? They have to be either ruled natural or whatever, and every death is going to have an investigation to it.
Every death.
You can't just have
Well, that's not true. A hospice death won't.
no, but we go on a lot of hospice deaths where you just have to confirm there's no signs of foul play. The paperwork's in order, and then you're out of there.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, so easy because the nurse
They-
is there.
The nurse calls. They handle everything.
Yeah,
give you
it's-
the ME number. They give you everything for your quick little report,
Yeah.
whatever. So yes, typically our least involved is going to be in a hospice situation.
Yeah.
But outside
Still
of that,
got to go. Yeah.
outside of that,
If you get called, because
Yeah.
sometimes you don't get called.
and I'm going to recommend if Aunt Maud dies on the couch during Sunday football, don't just sit on her and keep watching the game. Call somebody.
Please.
Have some decency.
For God's sake, man.
Don't let Maud lay on the couch while you watch football.
Maud.
Who could be just
Can I tell you?
What team is that
Can I tell you a
important?
good dead person story?
I would like to. Yes, please.
This and this is still.
I can't believe you're mocking death.
You mock death.
That's the hate comments
You mock
coming,
death
like,
as if it's death itself.
I get that you want to try to be funny, but some things are just
You don't touch them.
limits.
Yeah, they're off. Exactly. Well,
yes. As long as they think it's
Well,
funny,
welcome-
it's on limits. But when you cross their little preferences about what you can talk about or what you can joke about, then
well, welcome to the
Wow.
dark world of police humor.
the underground world of
Yeah.
police humor.
I,
It's the gallows humor, right?
yeah.
It's how you deal with all the bullcrap that you see.
Well, I know that this isn't the story I was going to talk about, but we're talking about dead bodies and all that stuff. And I had it was a supervisor.
Hold on. You have a story, too, that you told me once
I did.
that I'm going to have you tell.
Okay.
I just thought about it.
So let me
I
get
can't
this
forget.
one out.
Producer,
'cause-
make a note.
Make it. Wait.
I don't know what the
Bookmark
story
it.
is.
You don't have any pens.
You can bookmark it.
Should you be
Bookmark
writing
it.
this down?
There's a pen right over
How
there.
do we pay you for it?
Write your
Here's a pen.
mom
I have a
down.
phone with some notes.
Here, you need to learn some old-fashioned technology. All right.
Oh, so anyway, so this is just a real quick one from one of my supervisors way back. Said that they got called to a suicide shotgun guy shot himself in the face.
Yes.
And the way it looked is he literally took off his whole face except for like his skull, like part of his skull and
Oh, wow.
and his ears were still there like that. And so like had his ID, they're like, yeah, this is the guy.
by the ears.
By the ears. This
Oh.
is the facial structure. This is the guy.
He doesn't have a face, Sarge.
I thought
That's
that was
him.
I thought that was
at the
hilarious.
ears.
Oh God! And you can imagine back, like probably back in the '80s, they're probably like, "Well, that's good enough for us. We don't need dental records for this one."
Good enough.
Yeah.
Put him in the wagon.
Still wearing the same shirt as the that one.
Yeah, it's the same shirt in his license. Maui. He went to Hawaii. Let's get the Maui shirt
He's
on.
got he's got his shorts on. But the one the good story that I was called to was a husband and wife, and they were older, and I probably in their 70s.
Both dead?
No, the husband was still alive, and again they lived on their own, and it was crazy because this was like the first time I've seen it like this. So the husband calls us, and he is like this salty pirate man. Like he is like the saltiest guy I think I've met in a long time, and gruff voice and all that stuff. And his wife was she was like probably 90 pounds, and she had, I don't even say died, she had lovingly passed to the Lord in the most serene.
Literally, Satan.
I have never seen anything.
Michael the Archangel and Gabriel came down and
they gently placed
gently
her.
lifted her with the nightgown
It was unbelievable.
and
She
lifted
she
her
even-
into eternity.
She even passed away in this beautiful white robe, and she died with her hands on her chest on a couch. I'm not kidding. In the most beautifully serene way I've ever seen. I'm looking at her, I'm like, what is going on? And then this husband calls the son up, and he's like, again, she looked beautiful. Seriously, so peaceful. It was as if God had laid his hand upon her.
It's time.
It was. He's like, Aunt May, it's time.
It's time.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
That seriously, I'm not kidding. And so, the husband is on the phone with the son, and you can't hear what the son's saying, but you can kind of get a feeling because he's like, and this is probably where it's going to become explicit unless you beep it out. But he's like on the phone. He's like, yeah, your mother died. Yeah. No, I'm not shitting you. Yeah. All right. And that was it.
That's how he broke the news, huh?
That's how he broke the news. And I was like, none of that matches up to me. None of it. You know?
Listen, I have never had that experience. no peaceful, nothing peaceful at all. Hospice, yes. There have been, obviously, families there. It's
Yes.
expected.
Yes.
I have been on no peaceful deaths such as you described.
It's weird, right?
It is weird. I'll tell you, one of my first dead body stories, okay, and it's so vivid in my head still because it was very early on in my
And
career.
let me ask you, do you remember your first also?
Outside of hospice, I think this was my
Okay.
first independent. I got the call.
Right.
I
Okay.
was first there. No
Good.
one else with me.
Because
It's
we
me.
have to talk about those because I still remember my first too, and I think that's important because most cops are going to be like, oh, totally remember my first.
I think that my first was a hospice, and I don't have any because it was so nondescript. I don't really
Right.
have a particular memory.
Right.
I remember them saying, "Okay, you got to, check the body for signs of foul play, so you're going to test the body." And I remember thinking like, "Don't mess this up! Don't mess this up! Don't look bad," because the family, it's like. Sometimes you can try to say like, you might stepping out of the room, check it,
Right.
and they'll step out, But if they're watching,
See, we
it's
don't
like,
ever do. I've never done that.
really
Never.
interesting.
That's for the Emmy.
Maybe that was a joke on a new guy when I was a new guy, and I've done it ever
think
since.
So, especially with the hospice.
Oh man, they got me. So, okay,
I did things.
I go into this house, and it's obviously it doesn't come out as a death. It comes out as a woman not breathing, right? Because the family obviously finds grandma or mom or whatever, and they call 911, of course. So I get there, and she's very definitely dead. Okay,
Right.
No, this isn't a situation where CPR is going to have any benefit whatsoever to anybody. So I start this process. I'm like, okay, call somebody else, let them know what I got. Go through the whole appropriate procedures. This family was animated. I'll say that. Okay, I know that you've been there, where everybody yells.
It's a spirited event, that's for sure.
Oh, it gets spirited.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll tell you more details off air. But let's just say it began to be a lot of activity around the house, and somehow, like 70 family members were there very quickly, and one of the family members wanted to see grandma, okay, or mom or whatever. And I'm standing there, and of course we had no idea how she passed. There was like, obviously, hey, we have to conduct an investigation. We have to see what's going on here. I got to get detectives to the house, all this other stuff. We have to make sure that we
Yes.
dot those I's and cross the T's. So I'm standing in the bedroom where she had passed away, and so-and-so wants to see her and literally lunges
Yeah.
to go embrace what is now a corpse.
Yeah.
And I, with
not-
crystal
and
clarity,
probably not a fresh corpse.
no,
like
not
it's-
super
yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
And I remember with crystal clarity, like everything slowed down because I was falling back. And I'm like, no. And my face is turning toward the dead face. And it's just like, I land on the body. And I'm doing everything to do my job and not let
Yes.
anybody disturb
Yes.
the scene, right?
That is already
And
disturbed.
I've got some crazy woman on top of me, like, yelling in a different language that they have to see so-and-so. And I'm, like, trying
Yes.
to do this, and there's just people pouring into the room. And here I'm like, laying on this body, my head's like poking me. And I'm just like, what is happening? Can I quit?
Officer down.
Stand back up. There's a body.
Well, I love that you're telling that story because I thought this, like, have you noticed that sometimes there's a cultural thing where when an individual passes, it doesn't matter how they pass, it's usually an older individual. It's almost as if whoever cries or laments the loudest,
Oh, there's weeping and wailing.
it's crazy, is like somehow the winner. And,
Yes.
and it's not uncommon. You see that, and it's
This
my
front
gosh.
yard turned into like people on their knees and
Yes.
on their faces and just
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. It may
crazy.
be a very religious thing. It's something that I wasn't used to, originally. But man, wow,
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
And that experience saved me in the future when culturally
yes.
I knew, okay, this is coming. There are going to be 40 people here within
Yep.
5 minutes,
Yes.
and I need to be ready for that. So it had an impact later. But, you know, that's not a great first experience with the dead bodies
No.
laying on top of it. I'm going to tell you.
No.
That is not a 10 out of 10. That is...
That is
not good.
Actually, that's way better than my first body. My first body was, although I have some good stories. My first body was actually in Detroit. It was a prostitute that had gotten killed and dumped in a vacant, you know, and it is just, it's funny because it's kind of a surreal thing, and as you get older, or as especially like the inner city, you start to become very hardened to some of those things. Because the way people treat death in the inner cities is very different.
Oh, yeah.
And so you have to, so it kind of hardens you also. And I suggest to everybody to, I don't know how you avoid that, but it's not a good thing, you know, but it is weird how people perceive death so differently. And so like it would come to the point where like it was, again, sometimes it's expected that you just, you know, people just kind of freak out. And obviously you have, parents or relatives and that kind of stuff. It's very tragic, you know, and you'll have them just fall out on you, you know,
Right.
And I'll be like, well, somebody will come up, you know, that was my son, what happened? And you're just like, well, it's not like they can't see what happened. You have a lineup, you know, and trying to avoid anybody from coming in there. And you just like, well, you know, your son sustained, you know, gunshot wound to the head, you know, and they just drop right there.
Right.
I mean, it's just, you know, and we all deal with death very differently, but that's the one weird thing about dead bodies is everything that brings the, you know, comes on after or during that whole incident can make a cop's life just miserable. Like,
Yeah.
and nice first world problem, right? You're making my life miserable because your family member died. Oh God, but
Yeah.
it does become very difficult at times.
I mean, that's
very
how
challenging.
you end up kind of like being desensitized in a way.
Yes.
Necessarily so.
Well, you have to.
You have to. You can't become the person who's sitting there weeping and wailing and lamenting and breaking down over what you're seeing because you have a job to do.
Yeah.
I remember getting flagged down one night on a midnight shift and someone saying like, hey, there's a guy, I don't know if he's homeless or what's going on. He's passed out. He's on the sidewalk. And I tried to, you know, get his attention, but he wasn't listening. And you want to go check on him? I'm like, yeah, I'll go check on him. So it was like right around the corner. I'm like, hey man, I get out and, you know, he's face down. Hey, you know, little kick with the boot.
Right,
like,
right.
hey, wake up, man.
A little nudge.
You know, and I'm like, what is going on, man? And it wasn't crazy late. I think it was like 11 at night or something like that. Gosh, he's passed out already. The strip club is, we got all night to go, and this is how it starts, you know. So I roll them over. Huh, that's weird. Gunshot. He's dead.
That is,
And
I've
I'm
never
like-
had that.
I'm like, oh, it's nice that somebody just dump him here.
yeah.
Like, oh, this is great. But that's what you get sort of like as that happens more and more, right?
Oh,
then you're
yes.
like, oh, what, they dump him there? You know, like you kind of get
Yes.
desensitized
That- but
because
that
you,
would be
you
my
go
f-
through these experiences.
I've never had that where somebody's like, hey, there's somebody sleeping in the corner. I've never had that. Obviously, you get called to dead bodies, you know, especially in the inner city where there's a lot of violence. But that is really funny. I actually had one where there was shots fired. I don't remember if it was off Joy Road or something, and it doesn't matter. South End of number 10. And there were shots fired. People, it was outside of a Coney or something like that. We get there, and there was garbage everywhere, meaning like there were actual black garbage bags everywhere. Like just
for those that aren't familiar, there's Coney Islands everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In Metro Detroit.
Everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, and so this one in particular had, it was almost like it was going to be trash day the next day or something. I worked in nights, and there was a guy there just laid out, you know, like this. I'm like, oh man, wow, he got it. And I literally immediately called, you know, and probably 30 seconds later, he goes, and he's got chicken in his hand. He's like,
Zombie!
like
Zombie!
that. Dude, he wasn't shot or anything. He just passed out there. Just passed out on the garbage, right where the sidewalk is and everything.
Like, cancel everybody.
I'm not going to lie, it scared the crap out of me initially because of the way it happened. I'm like, what the heck? And yeah, he was totally fine. Totally fine. And, well, what does that even... mean. Had to reevaluate my life. I didn't know what to do.
There is another story. I don't know if it involved a dead body though, where you were. I think it was.
Wait, before you bring that one up, I want to hear your funniest or craziest dead body story. The one that you're like, oh, you got to hear this one. Oh, maybe that might be the same one that you're telling me that I have to tell, because I will tell that one if it's the same one.
I don't know if it's the same one or not.
But, yeah.
I'll tell you another one of my dead body stories, and we could do this for a while. We're going to try to limit ourselves because we want to get to the grossest ones. I'm not going to describe that yet, but this one is sort of like gross, but funny, I guess. It depends on who you ask. So, one of those situations where they hadn't seen Aunt Maud in whatever days, weeks, months, I don't know, and the only way in the house, sometimes if you don't see somebody when you're looking through the windows or whatever else, you don't want to just like smack a door down, right, and then damage everything and whatever else. But we found an open window, and one of the guys, which I wish I could name him and publicly shame him, he is like, hey guys, I'm going to get the Sarge coffee. See you guys later. You guys want anything? And he's like, oh. He's out of there,
Shame.
And I'm like,
for shame.
I look around and I'm like, no, because I was the low man on the totem pole on that shift then.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, that means I'm going in, because we usually throw the lowest man on the totem pole through the windows, So there was an open window of the kitchen, and it was a hoarder house.
Of course it was. Why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it be? So I had to climb in, and what made it funny was just everybody laughing at me.
Oh yes,
because I'm not like a tiny human being either, right? It's not like I'm 145 pounds, fresh out of the academy at 18. Like
you look like.
Tell me where to go, Sarge. I mean, like,
let me jump right into the window.
I'll go in the window, buddy. Let me get in there. It's not like that, right? It's me having to climb through this small kitchen window over dishes and whatever else piled. Yeah. And ultimately we found her, and it was like, it had been a while, but so the funny part of it was the amount of laughter that people were having at my expense, having to climb through the tiny window into a hoarder's house, not knowing where this body was. It could have been underneath the kitchen sink, and I could have stepped on. I couldn't see. Yeah, like I literally was trying to get in there, like, and it's kind of weird, man. I mean, like, weird experience. You don't know who's in that house or whatever, and you're trying to just climb in. And she ended up obviously having passed away, and we're like, man, it's been a while, but it doesn't smell like at all. It didn't. There's a scent usually associated with death. There's an aroma.
There's definitely an aroma. Even very.
Probably not one you'll find in a candle for Scentsy or anything.
We should.
Wait, what? Maybe we can market those. Ooh, as we rolled her back, though, when the ME got there, her eye had melted and stuck to the floor, and then it peeled out. The stench, I was under the impression that this was the first vial in the book of Revelation, and that God was pouring out judgment upon all of us. This was apocalyptic smell. Yeah. I mean, I've never puked at a crime scene ever. Sure. That was the closest I came. I needed to get out. It was, like I said, dude, it was of biblical proportion. Oh yeah. It was intense. And then of course that led to like more laughter at my expense, because I'm the one that ended up getting stuck handless while some of the guy goes and get coffee. But yeah, I don't know that I have too many funny stories. I mean, it's funny that I was laying on this other body and
that actually
climbing through a window, or
especially as like
whatever else.
Like that's a
so. All right, what time are we at here, producer?
30 minutes.
All right, we're good. So we're gonna. I want to this story. Okay, I don't want to give it away, but I want to like jog your memory.
Should I tell mine, because I feel like it might be the same story?
Is it involve a really dark house?
Yes.
In Detroit.
That's it.
Okay. I think we're talking about the same one.
Yep. It has to be.
I hope so.
So, 4-family flat, from what I remember. Either way, it was one of those very large houses from the 50s. Huge. But it wasn't split into 4-family. It was still either a 2-family or the whole house. And so we get a call that somebody's not breathing or whatever it was. As time fleets, I can't, have the exact particulars.
Your brain's not like it.
Yeah.
You need to take Ginkgo biloba. I need that on MikeTheCop.tv.
Yeah, you do.
I need some memory enhancement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I was new. I still remember I was wearing the sweater, the cop sweater and everything. That's what I wore in the wintertime because it was...
With the little patches on the elbows and stuff.
Yeah. I totally love those, though.
Did you have the Russian hat? The little...
I actually still have them. I still have it. I wear it. I still wear that. I'm the only...
What are those called? I don't know.
The Manchurian hat.
Nice.
Yeah, I still wear it.
Have you ever worn one of those?
Dude, you have the head for it.
I just wear a beanie.
Yeah, right. Okay.
A skull cap.
Not good enough. Because it lets air right through it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're talking about dead bodies. So I'm brand new, and I still remember it was cold, and the family meets us out there, and they are just freaking out. You gotta get up! He's not breathing. Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my gosh! And I'm brand new. My partner's been there a couple of years, so he's already kind of seasoned to that whole thing. And I'm following this individual. It literally to me was like a maze. I don't know how there were so many places I had to go through and around in order, because you look back at the house, you're like, yeah, it's a big house, but did he literally take me through the whole house in order to get to
it was
one
like
spot?
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah,
you walked into another universe.
That's exactly
so much space.
That's what it felt like as I was new. I didn't know, and I'm following this person, and we're going upstairs and around corners and through rooms and everything. It's what it felt like, but we were definitely going upstairs. And we get there, and there was even another floor on top of that, because what happens is this area upstairs there was a kitchen, and there was like a living room and all that, but there was no power up there. And so the individual the male had hung himself in the door frame that led up to the attic, stairs to the attic, and he had hung himself, and so he was. It was a cord, so it had sagged, and so his knees were on the ground, like on the stairs, like kind of. And
somebody like horror movie stuff right here.
It was completely black except for my stupid flashlight.
And back then, the flashlights weren't as bright as they are today.
No, not at all. They didn't have LED
like
stuff.
Two D-cell batteries.
Yeah. That's exactly what. Yeah,
exactly.
And so
it was like that little plastic thing you had as a kid. Like you'd have to smack it to get it to turn on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
standard issue.
Yes, pretty much.
Especially in Detroit.
Oh God, yes. So we had the plastic ones after the metal screen.
Yeah. That changed things.
So yeah, from metal to anyway, it doesn't matter. Again, talking about dead bodies here.
Yeah. Back on track.
So he's there, but he had been cut down, and because they were talking, there was a lady up there that was a nurse or whatever, family member, said she was a nurse or whatever, and was trying to give him CPR.
Oh.
But he had been there a while.
Oh boy.
And so every time she would like blow into his mouth, it was like, you know what I mean? Like it was just, and I'm like, ma'am, come on, and so she moved away. And so I'll never forget, because I had to take my glove off. I had a leather glove off because I wouldn't have been able to feel if he had a pulse, you know what I mean? And I still remember that to this day, like putting my hand on his chest. And that was like the first, like, very surreal dead body. Like it was very, like it was my first suicide. I know that. And I was like, he's dead. And you could tell he had been dead for a while.
Right.
And so this is where it starts getting freaky. So my
As
partner,
if a hanging man in a pitch black room is not freaky enough.
Yes, it is on the second floor. So there was power, because it was an old school. Remember the ovens? How they used to have the not the digital clocks, but the analog flip things. And remember how they used to be lit?
Yes.
Yes. This was the only thing that was still going on with it. There was like this small, like this faint light. And I remember
stuff out of a thriller movie.
What was weird was I don't remember ever even thinking like, hey, I should turn a light on in here. Maybe I didn't want to. You know what I mean? Who knows? So, but this place led right from like the kitchen, living room area up to there. So my partner's like, okay, I got to go make notifications. Bye. He's gone. He's like, but we got family members coming. They're going to want to come upstairs. You know what I mean? Like, oh, and it's that, like you said, it's like, oh my gosh, people want to see. So, so I'm sitting there all by myself. It's pitch black, except for my stupid flashlight that I might turn on, because you want to waste the battery, and this ridiculous analog clock on an oven. And I'm sitting there, and the guy starts making noises, the air starts leaving. You know, his body is going like that, and I'm like, now I know that he's dead. He is D-E-D dead. No
Is
doubt
anybody
about
else
it.
seeing this?
Yeah,
I'm alone.
Yeah, but I wasn't alone, Mike.
Oh,
I wasn't alone. So I'm there by myself. This thing starts making noise.
I forgot the details now.
Yes.
I'm excited.
All of a sudden, I hear a noise in the living room, the opening of the living room. Keep in mind, this is like 15, 20 feet of area that I can see. But the opening to the living room area is dark. And I'm like, what is going on? And I hear something. And I hit my flashlight. And it was like, it was I would have to say like he was a special needs black male in his 30s that looked like he was 12 in only tighty whities. So I click on the light, and that is the only thing I see. And he looks at me, and he goes, and he runs away. Gone. Never saw him again. Gone.
Wait,
in the living room.
To this day, you've never seen him again?
Nope. Only,
goodness,
only in my freaking nightmares.
Oh, who was he?
I don't know. I don't know, Mike.
Got to be kidding. The family didn't know. Did you say this? Did you say like,
no?
Who was the guy in the whitey tie?
No, I was brand new. I didn't know what to do. I'm lucky to be alive, Mike. It was the craziest thing ever. And again, so the time passed by. Now I'm freaking out. I am freaking out. But what do? Nothing. You sit there like it because you're brand new, and you just take it. You take it, Mike. You take it real good. And so,
wow.
I know. And so then family members did start coming up, and I had to get physically restrained and everything else. And it was almost a big fight. The guy was enormous, which I'm so happy that when you deal with enormous men who are very distraught, generally they start out really, really bad, but come to their senses very quickly.
Yeah.
It's almost like they know that their size is an issue with life, right? And so, he came in, and it was on for a second. It was on. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. And so we were able to keep it. We got that taken care of. But yes, I guarantee that must have been the story, right?
Wow, that was absolutely the story.
And do you still remember it the same way that I told it? Because
yes. You told it the same exact way. I couldn't remember the description of the person that shows up. I couldn't remember that, like when you said tighty whities or whatever, like that. I didn't remember that much, but I remember the sound, like you saying, like the sound caught your attention of the. Oh man.
Oh man.
I got chills.
It was. Oh man. Whatever.
Yeah. Woo. So
thanks for making me relive that.
You're welcome.
I just peed myself.
Man,
I peed myself.
Pennywise has nothing on your experience.
No, he does not.
Wow.
I know, that was horrible.
So, all right, the gross stuff. I was reminded, the reason this whole topic came up that we're talking about right now is because I was exposed to an image of a dead body recently that had essentially melted into. This is why I don't stay at hotels, by the way. It was more like a dive motel kind of thing, but melted into the pillow.
Yes.
And then so completely indistinguishable. Like I couldn't tell male, female.
Right.
Why? What was with it? It was just gone. It was just melted. And then there was just maggots everywhere. So I was like, oh man, and it reminded me of my grossest dead body.
Do tell.
So I'm going to preface that I'm very glad it happened in November, and it happened to have snowed. It was cold. So that mitigated the circumstances.
Right.
Right. So like you said earlier, like it's summer. Like maybe that wasn't on the show, but we were talking before. Like
finding bodies that have been there
when
in the summertime.
When it's 94 degrees and
the person has the heat on.
Doesn't. Yeah, it's an elderly person that doesn't believe in air conditioning.
And they love the heat. They love the heat.
And then there's rats and flies and whatever else. It gets gross. Let's not sugarcoat it. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
So, in this case, the circumstances were mitigated, thankfully, by weather. No flies. No excessive heat. Because heat somehow, I don't understand the chemistry behind all this, of course. It carries the aroma.
Oh, yeah.
It's thick.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel it. right? You can.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
You can almost cut through it.
you can
It's-
taste it,
Yeah, it's,
right?
It is bad. And it gets in your nostrils. That's the
You
problem.
can't get out. It's like new guys in the corner puking his guts out.
Yeah.
Right? It's got the cigar, right? They've got the trick like the Vaseline under the nose, the cigar smoke,
Vicks or
like,
something or what- yeah, no.
But now it's 2017. You're not allowed to smoke cigars when you're working, right? You can't just light up a cigar. But that's how they did it in the old days. They would light up cigars and go into examine the dead body. But so I make my way through here. Another thing, hoarder. I have bad luck with hoarders.
You have good luck with hoarders.
Well, I guess it's a matter of perspective.
Right.
So come in immediately, like go through the kitchen. I only had to get to that. That was disgusting. To get to the next room, very obvious deceased individual face down on a couch. Okay, face down, probably walking around before death. 425 bills.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, another scientific thing that I'm not going to be able to explain because I don't know how it all works, but bodies can expand.
And they do.
Gases.
Enormously.
Yes, gases get in there, or whatever gases are in the system expand.
Yes.
And are not released. So it creates almost like a Willy Wonka type situation where if you get poked or moved, it could literally
release the gases.
Pop.
Yes, it'll pop.
It's disgusting.
Yes.
Okay, we warned you. We
It's
warned
not
you
just
ahead of
pop;
time.
it's burst.
It's bursting is a good example, and it's not pleasant.
No.
Okay, nobody wants to be there.
Not nearly as fun as I thought it would be.
Okay, didn't live up to the hype. Well, I was again the new guy on that shift. Seems to happen to me a lot as well, and so here we are, and I wait for backup, right? Because again, you don't know how this person died. Someone could be in the house.
Yeah,
Someone could have
absolutely.
killed them, still be there. You don't know. So what you do is basically you hold the ground that you have. You call for other people. They're going to come. Once they're there, then we clear the rest of the house. So as I get to the basement to clear the house, I hear this dripping. You know, I went one way when I went down the stairs, and I hear this dripping, and I come over, and I see this constant drip of stuff, blood mixed with stuff, if you will. And I look up, and what was happening was he had been there for probably 12 or 14 days, and he was melting through the couch.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Through the couch, through the floor, through the wood, into the basement, onto the floor.
Mike, I'm so glad you didn't say that it just started dripping on your head.
Oh.
Because I would
throw up right now.
I would die right now. I would literally die. My heart would stop.
So I went upstairs, and I told the lieutenant, I'm like, I don't know how to describe what's happening right now.
You ever seen
obviously,
the movie Seven?
She'd been on the job, I'm sure, 18 years or whatever. Like, she's my lieutenant, right? So she's got the experience, and she's probably loving the fact that this is all completely new to me, and is like, oh no, do tell, what's happening? I'm like, I think. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
I'm just gonna come out and say it.
I think he's coming through the couch into the basement. She's like, oh yeah, that's real common, you know. And so we have to get this tarp out and ultimately roll him over, and just praying that the bursting doesn't happen or whatever. When we get him over, well, his face is just gone.
Yeah,
just gone, and the color, the smells, the everything about it was just so memorable.
Yes.
It's just there. It's that smell is like stuck in my brain forever, you know, like the look and the smell and the whole thing. But I'll never forget that one. That was probably the grossest I saw, because
That
like
would
literally parts had to be scooped,
Well,
right?
that's
Like
the thing.
melted body, not just not
yes.
just like, oh, this person killed themselves and that's a horrific scene to look at, but the actual melting of a human is.
See, for me, like, I look at it like, because there's the totality of what's going on, you know, the smell, the sight, and all that stuff. But like, some of the worst for me are actually like the kind of the surreal ones where somebody shot themselves in the head, or you know, or something. And like, I had one guy had shot himself in the head. His head was back, and like blood was pooling like in every crevice that was there. So his face was like a pool, and head was back. You know what I mean? Just like those weird kind of ones that, you know. But What was I going to say? There was another one. Do you have any other ones that you can think of? I'll try to think. There's one in particular, but I don't.
45 minutes.
There's plenty. But let's just say we're not trying to be gross. I don't think for the purpose of being gross.
No, it is what
this
it
is
is.
just being real. Like we see cops see a lot of dead bodies. You know, not most of them natural. You know, not
or car accidents.
Car accidents.
Those
suicides.
are bad.
Suicides are way more common than people might understand.
Yes.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
Way more than homicides do. Way more.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know, depending on where you work, homicides may be not a completely uncommon thing, but you don't go to work expecting to go to a homicide scene.
I did it number 10.
Yeah.
I swear it was like that. But it doesn't matter. But I do have one real good one before we go. Car accident. Well, motorcycle accident. Guy was parked, he was stopped at the red light on a motorcycle on a Harley, and the drunk driver in the full-size pickup truck, I think it was an F-150, just plowed right into him and didn't even stop.
Jeez.
So he hit this guy so hard that it imprinted his skull like into the paint with hair and everything. And when the guy finally went forward, he kept going and dragged the guy's skull over 200 yards.
Jeez.
And just ground it down. Yep. And the guy came right back. He was so drunk that he was using his GPS on his car, and he was like, "Oh, I made a wrong turn." Came back, and we're like, they're like, "That's the guy." We're like, "Oh, okay, young guy, probably spent the rest of his life in prison."
Yeah. Do you know the
He was, like, in
disposition
his
of that? Did he
20s.
go?
No, I
to prison?
honestly do not know. But yeah, that was a pretty good one. But,
Yeah.
But yes, so yes, have we seen dead bodies? Yes.
And when you're standing over, like I remember very distinctly when my life had changed as a cop. Like when you do some of these experiences were when I was a lot younger, new on the job, and then you come to a point. I remember standing over a body in the middle of 8 Mile, and he'd been struck by a car, and it was memorably horrific looking.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're horrible.
And someone brought over, so we had this whole area blocked off. I walk over and I'm like standing there, and we had ordered pizza as a shift. And then they bring the pizza. We're like, "Hey, you want your pizza?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm eating. I took a bite of pizza, and in that moment, which I remember crystal clear right now, which is like, this is messed up.
Yeah, because this is
Right,
not
this
natural. This should never happen.
My life is different, very different now than it was before I became a cop. Because what normal person can stand next to a horrific scene and eat their lunch?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
it just becomes like a part of what you have to do and what you have to learn to process. And it's a unique thing.
We seriously could go on all freaking
Dude,
day.
I mean, yeah.
Because
it's
I had
never
one
ending.
of those moments as well, but I'm not going to talk about because we got to cut it
So,
short.
yeah,
But
what we hope... if you see a crazy man in tighty whities running around screaming...
don't call me.
Don't call
me.
Dave. He'll probably shrivel up into a little ball, and that's it's gonna do bad things.
Oh.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for listening.
Hopefully, you don't take this the wrong way, like we're trying to be disrespectful or anything. We're
Absolutely not.
Obviously, if cops are tuning in, you might get some interesting comments
I'm sure you
about
will.
different things that they've seen. Maybe you've got some other questions about sort of like procedure, things that we've done, and all that stuff. Drop them in the comments. But that's it for now on this episode.
I love you. Love you so much. Bye.
See ya.